Chapter 5 Healing.
Abba, the Mokiu carried authority, but also protection. His name always reminded us that we were safe in his capable hands. To describe him in 2 words seems cruel, for he embodied other traits depending on who you ask. To some, he was a father, perhaps a guide, maybe an encourager, but to all, he was an example. Through his spear, he felled many foes, but only those whose light had expired in his eyes. Those who live in vile walks would meet the end of his judgment. He was a judge, a just judge. He never killed without need. We could all stand to learn from his heroic spirit. The light in him radiated like a sun. He led us all to prosperity for many years. He wasn't perfect, but that Moki always sought our best interests. Abba's heart always fit perfectly, even when it stumbled. I will forever respect what they did, as do you all. Remember to share that light he shared with us all. Be the light he no longer can be.
A funeral featuring every survivor took place near Florin's tree, where we buried him. After that magnificent eulogy delivered by one of the defenders, we all took one last look at his body before they buried it, alongside Florin. I asked to go last, as I lacked the words to express how I truly felt. By the time my turn came by, I still wasn't sure what to say to satisfy my aching soul. My heart rendered only half to its form. A part of me always stayed with him, and with him gone, I felt fractured and torn. Even so, I said what I could before making the journey to Aka's field, of which Mira would guide me.
I love you, Daddy. I promise I'll be your light. I promise.
A few hours later, I exchanged an assortment of hugs to my 4 fleeting friends. None of us said a word. In fact, not a soul in the marsh could muster the courage to say anything. Abba truly carried the wills and hearts of all on his back, and I never once grasped that. Not until after he died. Several others lie dead and buried. Their lives may not have carried as much cultural impact, but as a whole, the deaths ripped our joy from us. Nothing remained but a pool of tears. The Great Bite will forever go down in history as one of Zoe's most tragic losses. Those savage biters stole one of the pillars of Marsh Treader society. I'd go as far to say they stole the pillar of my people. I will never forget it. It's the event that kick-started this entire journey. I never saw their journey to the jungle, but I could tell it was slow and painful. Luckily, the pack of GBs stomped off into the woods, never to be seen again, so it made the journey through the outer ring a cinch. I won't bore you with the details. Our trek never amounted to anything other than silence, and perhaps a brisk moment of body language. At the end of the long trek, Mira showed me a way across the cursed river, and hugged me before she left to join the grief-stricken band. Swimming wasn't an option. Instead, she showed me a tree taller than most of the others in the outer ring. Near the top were thick, strong vines used to cross the river in the old days. It made the trip much easier and removed the risk of drowning. I scaled the height of the bark-coated tower, albeit lethargically. I had no desire or enthusiasm to keep going, except the promise I made. Be my light. I personally took that to mean not just his light, but theirs. They being the world at large. I fought not just for my father, though that was the primary goal, but for everyone in Zoe. The slow climb also gave me time with my thoughts. I didn't wish to speak, so I internalized instead, What would my new father be like, I wondered. The spirit trees Ori met were all old and wise and cared deeply for their lands. I hoped he'd care for me all the same. There was also the light vessel, serving as the mother in the relationship. Would she treat me as well as they did? I concluded these questions once I reached the top. It was a long way down, and had I been fully there mentally, I probably would have caved under the pressure of potential pain if I fell. The emotions were already so spent after my greatest loss. Therefore, the distant floor, while foreboding, barely fazed me. A few vines swayed gently against the subtle breeze. Their dark green colors reinforced the mournful tone of the day, and their smooth texture reminded me of the furless globe-biters that brought an end to Abba. I cried a little, but most of my emotional strength was already wasted earlier, at the funeral and the time thereafter. Rather than dwell on the fresh wounds, I grabbed one of the vines, took a deep breath, and closed my eyes.
I'll make it, Daddy. I'm almost there.
I let a moment pass by, and then took a leap of faith. A whoosh of speed carried me all the way across the decayed river. When I felt the vine reach the pinnacle of its swing, I opened my eyes, watched for a landing point, and let go. I tried to stick a cool landing, but Mick's clumsiness seemed to rub off on me. My hind paw slipped and sent me rolling along the firm grassy terrain.
Owie!
If Abba were still alive, he'd likely have commented on my cute word choice. Strangely, I missed the embarrassment, even now. I got up from my painful landing pad and noticed something white and fuzzy. I recognized it from Father's books. It was a bundle of wild cotton. He always described it as one of the softest things you'll ever touch, and he was quite right.
Wow! You were right, Daddy. You were right.
My words faded into trailed lament. Nevertheless, it made me realize I was on the edge of Acus Field. Therefore, it was time I said goodbye to my muddy home. I looked back at the fog-bound woods and the trees that caged their moisture. Then I stared at the tragic waters below my feet and remembered the reason why they became so miserable. In a book Abba read, called Zoe's Biome Compendium, the marsh dripplers were described as one of the most important berries in Zoe. According to one of the passages, the needles poking out at the bottom of the fruit secrete a moisture, and in that moisture were concentrations of bacteria. Over many decades, those berries dropped tons of those moisture drops into the land and the waters below. This caused the water to become murky. It's what gave the marsh such a dreary dance of hues. It's fair to assume that by the same principle, the berries dropped to decay when it came through, and that infected the rivers. However, because the berries constantly drop the foul junk from their system, they're always pure and edible, which is why we were able to eat them. The needles were also a defense mechanism. It's why we were so careful when plucking the stems. The needles could spray a stream of acid used to kill the bacteria in their body. If we grabbed them by anything but the stem, we'd be spraying a bunch of irritating acid. Abba assured me the acid wasn't lethal, but I could only imagine the pain it caused. All that being said, it simply served as a reminder for what I was fighting for.
I'll find a way to heal it, Daddy. I promise.
With that, I finally bid farewell to the tragedy before me and turned towards Acus Field. What waited behind me, though, was mystifying. A pulse of blue light flushed the land in a warm wave of comfort. The wonderful sensation soothed my aching bones. All the mourning I'd experienced took its toll on my body. I barely exerted myself, yet the sheer force of my feelings wore me down in a physical sense as well. The light saw to that and calmed my aching bones. An indescribable sensation compelled me to press on to the blue sun, scintillating its beacon for all to see. The light already healed my weary muscles. I could hardly refuse their call. My goodbyes were already passed on, so I didn't wait. I followed the light through the path of the trees and the fields of cotton. The white-balled plants were everywhere. It was like wading through a field of clouds, and I loved the coziness of it. My nose didn't exactly find it entertaining, though. The cotton, while pretty, triggered a fit of sneezing throughout the trip. This didn't compromise my enjoyment of stepping amongst the clouds, or at least what I imagined to be clouds. One could equate the short jaunt through the white wonderland to walking in snow, but due to their warmth, clouds more appropriately fit my vision. The plain was wide, open, and free of predators, which allowed me to bask in the glorious sun-soaked terrain. I pictured walking through the sky as if I could fly and tread on the cotton-shaped clouds. I knew the light was just ahead, but I quickly became distracted by my own imagination and frolicked through the fields, rolling in the rich splendor of the cotton and their debris. Countless specks of cotton flew around, encouraging my playful whimsy. The glory soon came to an end, though. Something had rustled through the fields. My antennae alerted me to the potential danger, as well as my ears, which picked up some subtle sounds of disturbed foliage.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Not a voice, not a sound, only the breeze and cotton bending to their will. I waited for a bit longer before resuming the journey to the light. It was then I realized the light faded, and in its place, a large hole sticking from the ground, with stairs leading down into its recesses. I still couldn't shake the feeling someone was watching me, so I perused all directions again. After my brief period of paranoia, I proceeded into the protruding cave entrance. Inside the strange hole was a cavern, unnaturally built. Despite that, the lack of maintenance made it clear that no one stepped foot in here in a long time. Signs of terrain debris were spread around in a random fashion. The walls were also cracked in places, likely due to the dry nature of the lengthy corridor. There were signs that light sources may have been lit here, but the lanterns for them were empty. This cave was nothing more than a museum for the creator's lost vision. My curious observations were thankfully made possible through the blue light, which still shined enough for me to see. It goaded me on, encouraging my exploration of this intriguing monument.
What was this place for?
I wondered. No living soul was around to tell me. Not that it mattered. The blue light was my main concern. The lengthy tunnel stretched incredibly far, the entire span of the field, in fact. Further along the impressive construction, a gargantuan route weaved its way through the vast tunnel system, flaunting its many striations and intricate wooden majesty. I never laid eyes on spirit trees in person. However, based on the descriptions and illustrations in Abba's books, I knew this to be a root of Eka, the spirit tree of Zoe. The dark colors further reinforced this fact. Our tree was a cherry blossom, after all. I couldn't wait to lay eyes on the beautiful pink flowers Abba described, but the mere thought of Abba's books made bleak what was pure. I continued my trek toward the blue light, much slower than before. Around one more corner, the sapphire-coated beacon showed its brilliant face. A room, vast as a fraction of the fields above, housed an ancestral tree, beautifully lit and clutching a strange rectangular stone erected from the ground. Its cracked center appeared to be the source of the guiding light that led me here. The room also fostered a somber sight of many spirit flowers planted in the faintly green earth. The fragments of the past spoke in this very room, all welcoming me to this memorial for another spirit. Their yammerings were far too quiet to understand, but they all clearly cared a great deal for them. The distant past still called to me with a pulse. My heart skipped and triggered a gasp for air.
Do you want me to do something?
Their light shined brighter, as if to confirm they indeed needed my help. The last time I claimed Florin's light, the land was ruined. Disturbing the amazing atmosphere they established here didn't seem wise.
Are you sure? I don't want to kill the flowers.
The light bloomed ever more, goading me onto the natural desire to claim what was lost.
Okay. I'm sorry if I mess with things.
They likely didn't mind, and I wasn't there to argue. I stood before the incredibly powerful stone the tree held. Within its cracks, an abundance of light rippled and flowed slowly along the gray object and striated body of the tree. With a deep breath and outstretched arm, I claimed the memories from within. I was prepared for the trio of brief memories this time.
Leap, are you afraid of getting hurt?
I tried so hard to heal it. It wasn't enough. Murderer! You killed her!
In line with the previous tree, I fell to the floor. There was no father to catch me, though. Regardless, I felt no pain, Just a minor wake-up call and another flurry of words with mixed feelings imbued. So far, both trees offered memories that started neutral or happy, then sank into despair and anger. The continued trend sewed together a pattern strewn in tragedy, and I wasn't partial to such history, especially due to recent events. Unfortunately, said tragedy didn't stop there. All around me, the flowers entered a wilting state. They all bent over and stiffened at petal's end. The devastation I caused flowered something none of them could express. Tears. Tears which fell from my eyes into the ground.
No, please don't die! I'm sorry,
Nothing would have made more sense than to break down and feel sorry for myself again, for the sin I committed.
Could it be? Can I heal them?
For the sake of the dying memories, I gently held a wilted flower in my hands. The use of spirit abilities certainly wasn't second nature, yet their lives depended on me, so I tried the only thing I knew how. I breathed. The exercises Mira taught me may illuminate a solution to this dire situation. So I breathed. I closed my eyes. Slow, deep inhalation, followed by restful reservation, and then exhalation. I focused only on my hands. I imagined the flower, in full bloom, just as the others were before. I recalled the bright warmth of the room, and remembered the beauty of it. A harsh tension on my arms, and shaken breaths started breaking down the piece I built. I tried to reform it, but I couldn't.
Come on. Please be okay.
My sudden desperation ruined all I'd learned. I didn't want to fail anyone else. Thankfully, the flowers were among the species I saved. The tension in my arms devolved into restful release. The stress of failure subsided, and when my eyes opened, I could see the power to heal burst into fluid streams of restorative light. The power of this spirit soared through the air, reviving the room. All the flowers bloomed in abundance, and their voices returned, offering their gratitude through faint feelings. Amidst the incoherent whispers, a voice called, not faintly, but clear and vibrant. A voice unlike any other I'd heard, ethereally rich, with soft, feminine cadence, like instrument strings plucked in a dream, ringing out a gorgeous sound.
My child, I'm so glad to see you're here.
My ears twitched, and located the source of the one true voice I could discern. A glowing green sphere surrounded by swirling lights that danced around their foggy glow, which fluctuated as it spoke.
Luke, please come with me. Aka wishes to see you.
I looked at the sphere, befuddled. I'd only just arrived. What could the tree possibly want with me? I also wasn't sure who this was.
He wants me? Who are you? What do you want?
It's all right. I'm not here to harm you. I'm Zara, Aka's light vessel.
His light vessel? You're Zara?
Yes, I am.
Putting a name to the face put me at incredible ease. It gave reason to her sphere form, but also introduced a new mystery.
What's wrong with your light? It's not glowing as bright as it was in the book.
That is a long story. Come with me. Aka will explain everything to you. There's so much we've wanted to say to you ever since you were born. I'm so sorry we couldn't seek you sooner, Luke.
How do you know my name?
Luke, we may not know everything, but we know the names given to our children.
Okay. Please, take me to Aka. I need help. I keep seeing things, bad things. I just want them to go away.
Zara had no face, and by extension, no expression. Yet, through her light and voice delivery, I could sense her worry and yearning to cure me.
Goodness, Luke. Hurry, let's hurry to Aka then. We must be quick.
Okay.
For years, I struggled against such horrors you'd only hear of in stories, fictional tales, and perhaps some real ones. All of that came to life for me and never ceased. The hope it would wane finally returned, and finally I could see the end in sight. I rushed through the cave as fast as my little legs would carry me. My excitement peaked and drove me to run faster than ever. Zara's urgency, coupled with mine, created a fun bit of banter between us. She even offered to race me back, further inflating her trusting aura.
Faster, Luke, faster! The race is still on!
I'm gaining! I'll beat you!
Better be quick then, I'm almost there!
I'll go quicker! You won't beat me!
My goodness, you're so fast!
Yeah!
With one final leap, I sprung from the darkened cave into the beaming sunshine with a victorious smile on my face.
I win!
Good job, Luke. It looks like I'll need more practice to beat you next time.
It's okay. You'll get better at it.
The unbridled smile was unlike the brooding, depressed boy I was before. Zara ensured my feelings were lightened. The weight cast now sank deep into the abyss where it belonged. I flew far above the hungry void.
All right, little one. Let's head for Aka. He's not far now.
Yay! Okay, Zara.
The two of us continued the journey I started a while ago. Feeling the cotton beneath my feet and in my hands again was like breathing for the first time, especially after the juxtaposition in the cave. There's softness like a bed of grass, and weight light as feathers. I missed home, but being here was like experiencing the ring for the first time. A land brimming with hopes and dreams I couldn't wait to explore.